Now, most of us have likely found ourselves in a situation where our emotions just simply get the best of us and, rational thinking is out the door. We have emotional responses to something and, we might regret it, right? But it doesn't take away, I guess, the foundation of emotional maturity when it comes to how we deal with day to day life. However, there are those individuals who seem to simply have no emotional regulation at all, right? And when I was a youngster, I used to believe that being an adult, like when you grew up, it meant that you essentially became more mature. Like that maturity just came with adulthood, that it was promised, it was guaranteed. And yet, the older I get, the more I realize that there are some individuals who have actually degenerated when it comes to emotional maturity. Like they have gotten significantly more immature in the ways in which they deal with life. They have gotten more bitter. They've gotten more resentful. They've gotten, they gaslight more, project their own pain and hurt onto others, and want others to suffer as a byproduct. And so, I really wanted to get into the subject because I feel as if when you are somebody on the receiving end of a relationship with somebody who is emotionally immature, right? Their emotional um, processing abilities are underdeveloped. You're dealing with an adult child, an adult body, but a child is living in there. When you're dealing with this type of person, it can be so difficult to know what is the point of me helping this person versus me separating myself. When do I distance and when do I lean in? And to that, I say this: you do not owe any grown human being, I don't care if it is the child that you raised, once they are in a state of adulthood, you do not owe that individual a life raft, a life jacket. You do not owe that person risking your own safety or the ones around you in order to salvage this individual who essentially is choosing to be problematic. And I understand that people go through hard times. People go through things. There are times when, again, things may seem to be falling apart in our lives, etc. But I also believe that your baseline is going to show in the hardest of times. Like your character is going to be exposed when life is really dealing one of those type of blows, right? And I don't even necessarily like to say it in that way because there's still sort of this life is just happening to me type of thing. Like there's situations that are outside of our control. We may lose people, whatever it may be. But the response that we have to how life moves, how, things fluctuate, etc., says everything about who we are. So you lose that job. It's emotional. You don't know what you're going to do. But when it's all said and done, you're not going to use that as an excuse to bully everybody else around you. But there are individuals, they might be at your job right now, right? Who use their own trauma, quote unquote, as a means to bully you. They use their own inability to regulate their own emotions to make you feel some type of way. You got to step in and be the person who is consistently soothing their emotions. You see, we got an ambulance outside right now. That's confirmation right there. That person is about to end you up in a damn hospital. You continue to, to foster or to cater towards this individual. I know you care. I know you're loving. I know you got a big heart. I know you just can't help yourself. But in all God honest truth, it is likely that you have some level of codependency if you cannot separate yourself from these emotionally stunted individuals. They are dangerous. And it's become more and more prevalent for it to be okay for a grown ass adult. You see whole grown individuals on the internet setting up their phone and crying about God knows what. I did a video on a girl. She was crying about how, her prospective employer, prospect, potato, tomato, whatever. Her future employer found it as a problem that she could not show up on time. And she went on and on about how, mind you, she didn't even have the job yet. Didn't even have a job yet. She went on about how she was time blind. She had time blindness. Now, this is the first time I ever heard about time blindness my entire life. But I thought to myself, now, what the hell does that have to do with your employer? Why is it their problem that you can't show up on time? I'm time blind. I'm Ray Charles at a time. I can't see it. Okay, so you expect your employer to have to make a way for you, oh, I'm sorry that you have to. You know what? Show up whenever you want. It doesn't matter that we have responsibilities, things that we need to do in order for you to be able to get a paycheck, right? To hell with all those things. Poor you, your timeline can't do nothing about it. No, you need to make systems, processes, whatever it is. You need to do what you need to do if you want that job. That's a requirement. To be on time is a requirement of that job. I assume most jobs have some level of punctuality clause to say if you continue to show up not on time, you can have a punishment to help. They do that in school if you don't show up to school on time. So the point is this. I know I do the weave, right? Just like DJT, I do the weave. I'll bring it all the way full circle. So you find yourself in a place when you're dealing with an individual who uses all these excuses, they cry and whine, they're putting themselves out there, and you believe this person to be a victim when in truth, this person is actually a manipulator. They really are using their emotions to manipulate other people to get their way. They want you to soothe them in some sort of way. They lack the ability to regulate their own emotions. They lack the ability to discern that other people have other stuff going on. Oh, you have a life of your own. You must be going through something as well. Maybe, just maybe, it's my job to recognize that I need to help myself. No, they don't have that. They don't have that. And I'm not even talking about just narcissists by themselves, because that's easy to just label everybody as a narcissist. Sometimes it's just simply individuals who never matured emotionally, which sometimes ties to the mental aspect. But some can seem smart, but they are held to deal with. And this is being normalized, or it's been normalized, I think, actually for some decades now, where we've raised a generation or generation after generation that is so emotionally unregulated. They're so unstable emotionally. They're so childlike. Shout out to Jordan Peterson. It's like the Peter Pan syndrome. These individuals go through life as if they are a child to be coddled, but then want to be treated as an adult when it's necessary. Like, treatment as adult, give me the things that an adult should have, but take away all responsibility from it. And this mentality is being pushed culturally, societally. We've been catering to it. That's why I despise the woke mentality. That's why I speak so vehemently against it, because it has been an incubator. It's almost been like a factory that manufactures this sort of individual who goes through life believing they're owed something. I need to be hired because I'm struggling with this. I got this going on. I'm neurodivergent. I'm a dwarf. I'm a black transformer, and I have one leg. So the world needs to treat me better than everybody else and needs to give me things. And if they don't, I'm going to throw a tantrum. I'm going to cry, yell. I'm going to fight, scream. I'm going to act as if I were a 2-year-old if they don't give me what I want. These individuals are genuinely dangerous. Some of them are physically dangerous, but emotional and mental is enough, right? Like, we know about abuse can be physical, and that's the most obvious, but mental and emotional abuse is hell on earth, because sometimes it's easy to keep yourself wrapped up in that cobweb. Like, you just keep yourself in that very same place because you think, okay, well, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm in my head. You start gaslighting yourself. Maybe this isn't what it is. No, it is what it is. It's dysfunctional and it's toxic. And I'm not saying this, like, don't get this twisted. You might be the person who I'm talking about, and that's okay. Maturity is a choice. You can choose to become somebody who starts to actually process things in a healthy way. But I'm not just pointing to say, poor you, you're a victim of this person. I'm saying you're making a decision. When I was surrounded by emotionally unregulated individuals, whether it was an intimate relationship or it was in so-called friendship or family members I felt I was beholden to, that was my fault. I was picking up the phone. I was people pleasing. I was hoping, I don't want to leave them. I don't want to abandon them. So I'm feeling some type of, I have a guilt conscience that's keeping me in that very same cycle, instead of just acknowledging that, you know what, this ain't my business. This person is grown. They're an adult. They need to deal with this in the necessary way. I, quote unquote, hold space, as they like to say, right? I can hold space for this individual. But sometimes holding space means a distance. Sometimes it means separation. You understand me? That's the space that they need. And you may very well be the person who is holding them from actually discovering themselves. You may be the person who is keeping that person from hitting rock bottom, right? I forget who says the quote, but they say, never deprive somebody of their own rock bottom. Never deprive them. Because that is the moment that they get clarity. When I was on dope, when I was slanging it, using it, all up in the hoopla of it, the only way that I was able to get out of it was when my mama started ignoring me. My pop started kind of giving up on me. So like they said, we can't deal with this no more. It's been 5 years, like 4 or 5 years of our lives. And you're far gone. Like we don't know what to do with you anymore. And it was only then when I started having these moments of clarity, when I finally had to start thinking for myself. That, of course, and other, situations combined, I'll likely make a video just about that journey. But it was when I finally started seeing that, damn, like I ain't got no enablers left around me. I don't have any people, maybe besides my homies or whatever it was, but in the household, like there was this complete separation that was taking place, and it was necessary. I should have got my butt kicked out the house, to be honest with you. Shout out to African parents, but damn, I should have got my butt sent all the way out, in essence. Thankfully, obviously, I didn't for other reasons, but when I was 19, almost 20 years old, I finally started thinking with different levels of clarity. I can't keep living this way. Look what it's leading to, etc. Right? It's like they say a narcissist will only heal if they were to be completely separated from everybody. They have no supply, no semblance of a supply. Unfortunately, that's close to impossible because there's always going to be somebody out there, right? They said there's a new fool in the same way there's a new bus every hour at that damn station. There's a new fool ready to be finessed. Well, not even finessed, but there's a new codependent individual ready to be needed by this individual right here, ready to give everything away, ready to pour themselves into a dark, endless void, right? As opposed to saying, you know what? Best of luck. I'm going to pray for you. I believe in you. Deuces. I'm not going to deal with this. Oh, but it's my mama. Yeah. Best of luck, mama. Best of luck. Oh, but it's my brother, my sister. Best of luck. Love you. Godspeed. I hope all the best for you. You got my number if you ever decide to, to approach this relationship in a mature fashion. Coworker, this is a job. We didn't come here to be friends. We came here to be employees, to work together, whatever, business partners. Like that's what we're here to do. Right? That's the first goal. So if we happen to develop, an affinity, cool. But if you're going to show up with this energy right here, it's okay. We don't need that. We don't need that. I'm okay. No, thank you. Right? Thank you. No, thank you. And every conversation is going to be strictly about the paperwork that's right in front of us, crunching the number, do the thing, right? Simple as that. Be amicable with individuals. That's perfectly fine. I believe in being amicable with individuals. Yes, you can be amicable, but be amicable from a distance. Be amicable from where you are and where I am. It's all love. I don't hold the resentment towards you because I don't have any room for it. I need the space for me. I need the space to develop. I need the space to grow. I need the space to create what I want for me and my family and my household. Right in here. These 4, 6, 12 panel walls in here, right? That's what I'm on. If you want to add to that, you want to be an asset in that, fantastic. I will indeed be an asset to your life. But if you're going to show up in this immature, irresponsible sort of way and essentially see everybody else is responsible for you, woe is me. You're a grown adult. You are not a child or my child. I wash my hands of it.
I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. But I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 3, 6, 5, that's a full rotation.